All right. Good evening once again. I want to welcome everybody to this edition of real estate discussion, and I sincerely want to appreciate you for making it out, for making it point of responsibility to be here today. I hope that you will learn one or two things today as we discuss together. And our guest speaker is Daniel Ibitoye. Mr. Dan, are you there? Okay, Mr. Dan.
Yes, I am here. Good evening, Ibiki. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Okay, all right. Some minutes, please. Okay, all right. So I can see Praise and I can see Daniel, and I don't know who is using Techno Camon 17. Can I have your name, please? Yeah, I think we are good to go. So before we start, I believe others will join us. So let me quickly do a brief introduction of Daniel. So Daniel is a real estate consultant. He's the chief or the head property management of Alphacrux Limited. Alphacrux is a real estate development company. They're into property management, property development, and they're into real estate investment analysis. So they are also into real estate agencies, sales and letting of properties. So by the special grace of God, Daniel is the head of the property management of Alphacrux. He's a graduate of OAU from Department of Estate Management. And I have known him for more than 6 years. And I can tell you that tonight or this evening, you will learn something tangible from this discussion. You know, the reason for this is so many property owners, even property managers, some of them, they don't usually take property management serious. They make it as if once you buy a property, you are free and then you can just be making your money. But it doesn't work that way. You know, I've seen a house where tenants
Ó dà pé síìtì ẹ̀yìn ó ti já.
hello.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Welcome, sir. So, like I was saying, so there are so many property managers, property owners that just believe that once they get real estate, all they need to do is just wait and be collecting rent. And property management is beyond that. So this evening we'll be looking at how to manage properties in a profitable way in order not to be at loss. You know, imagine a tenant not paying for electricity bill for more than 2 years and not fixing some damage component of the property. You know what it means. You know, when you collect the rent at the end of the year and you are looking at the expenses, the outgoings, it's almost at par with the rent. You know, you are already at the losing edge. So without further ado, I will hand over to Daniel as a lead out in today's discussion. Mr. Dan, you are welcome, and over to you.
Thank you, Ibiki, for the introduction and all. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Welcome, everybody. I really appreciate us for taking our time to be part of the discussion. I'll share as much as possible to be brief and to also touch some critical parts of the whole idea of property management and how effective it can be. And also to ensure that I give a clear overview on how a real estate investor can easily make profits by focusing more on property management and ensuring that it's quite efficient and effective. So thank you everybody for being here, and I would love to appreciate IBK for this opportunity. When he chatted me concerning this discussion, I was like, wow, like IBK is one of the people that really rates me, and I'm really grateful for his friendship, brotherhood that we share and all of that. Like he rates me so high, and I was like, there's something they call imposter syndrome. I was like, what was this? I think I was telling him then that what exactly are you seeing that I'm not seeing? but then
I'm getting there,
thank you,
bro.
IBK, thank
So
you,
my player,
thank you,
sir.
thank you,
You're welcome.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
We've been on different projects together, and I'm not taking this opportunity for granted at all. I would say that the first money I made in real estate actually came from IBK. I name I not remember, but I think I mentioned it to you
Really?
before. You remember that shop deal we closed in Ife that you later
Yeah.
turned wire. That was actually my first money in real estate. I know, and a lot of people want to hear the amount, Abby. Okay, I'll post the body. It was actually 1,500. So,
Oh,
so
great. Yeah. Welcome, sir.
I and IBK, we actually share a lot of history together, and
Yeah.
also I think we did one valuation work together. I think about 2 years ago, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken,
Exactly.
and we did the
Exactly.
valuation work together. So we've been together. We are on different projects together, and all of that, and the word is not ready for what me and IBK are cooking. You guys just watch out.
Yeah.
Okay, back to today's discussion: effective property management, an essential component of a profitable real estate investment. Well, the topic itself has given us like a general overview of what to expect in this discussion. Um, it saddens my heart that there are a lot of real estate investors or developers that go ahead to build fine structures, but they failed to understand that there is an important part of the whole building process that they've neglected, and that is the management aspect. Because even if you are building to sell, people are going to build, people are going to buy. And if you don't put a structure of management, whether property management or passive management in place, the structure that you built last year will be looking 10 years old in 2 years. Are you all with me? Please, if you are following, just drop an emoji somewhere so I can know that you're actually following. Just drop an emoji and all of that. So it saddens my heart, and those are the few things I'll be talking on how property management can be more effective, and things that developers, investors, anybody that's looking at investing in real estate in the nearby future should actually focus on. Um, okay, he has already mentioned some things about me, and that's it actually. My name is Daniel Ibitoye. I'm the head of property management for Alphacrux Limited. Our office is in Lekki Phase 1, and we have a client base that is in and out of Nigeria. Our property portfolio is majorly on the island, and we have few properties on the mainland. And luckily for me, all those properties are under my care, under my supervision, under my oversight, and all of that. We thank God so far that my vacancy rate currently is about 90%. No, I mean, my occupancy rate now is about 90%, and I really do not have any rent default. So I would say that this property management journey for me has been the best, and I will share some of the reasons why it has been the best as we go on in discussion. So a disclaimer: the opinions shared in this presentation may not be appropriate for every circumstances. Other strategies not mentioned may be more suitable for any other specific circumstances that the audience might encounter later. Always consult a professional before making any real estate decision. I cannot overemphasize this enough. Before you make any decision in real estate, regardless of the YouTube videos that you've watched, regardless of the articles you've read, regardless of the Twitter space discussion that you've joined, regardless of this kind of real estate discussion that you've joined, ensure that you engage a professional real estate practitioner before you make that decision. Because real estate involves you dropping a lump sum of amount. And if you do not get it right, if you do not get the necessary information, necessary data, you might just lose money. And when people lose lots, I've heard also of somebody that made a wrong real estate investment decision and he committed suicide. So these are life changing decisions that we need to ensure that we've dot all our I's and crossed all our T's. Is very, very important, very, very important. So please, before you make any decision, please consult a professional. You have IBK, you have Joy Real Estate, you have other people that you can actually talk to that will give you the right insight on. Let me drop something that is happening currently as regards this. There's a particular property now that we are managing. The area itself, the residential zone. Are you with me? And they went ahead to build a grade B commercial complex there. I'm not saying it will not, the grade B commercial complex will not be off the market anytime soon. But what I'm saying is it defeats the purpose of the environment. Are you with me? So it's only a real estate professional that can give you all these insights. That okay, this area that you're going into, it's majorly for residential. If you are coming here to build a grade B commercial complex, it's not all this commercial area. It will take time before it will leave the market. It will definitely take time, because it's only those people that are into household materials, household items that can easily take something like that. Do you get? And how many of them is willing to take? When I'm talking about a grade B office complex, we are talking office complex that have sophisticated facilities and they are modern. Do you understand? And the normal going price will not be normal going rates for all these our shops, all these our normal office spaces and all of that. It will be way more higher than that. It's like times 50 of the initial money of the normal going rates in the environment. Are you with me?
Yes, we are with you. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, going on. So in this discussion, I'll be going through the rules of property management life cycle, and property management influence on real estate investment. Those are the things I'll be talking much on in this discussion. Hopefully, I'll get to hear from us on what we think, on what our experience has been in your various apartments that do not have all this system in place. So let's go ahead. So, like I mentioned earlier, real estate has its risk, investment risks, and all of that. So it's essential that you dot your I's and you dot your I's and cross your T's, so that you do not make immature decisions. I call those decisions that is not really founded on information and data immature decisions. Maybe you just rush into it. Maybe you've heard that a lot of people are doing real estate. I want to go into real estate. I want to start doing something real estate. I want to build 20 units of 2 bedrooms in so and so areas without getting enough data, because a lot of these things are always beautiful on the surface. But when you go inside it, when you look at the internal things that make all these things work, you see a lot of effort is put in place, a lot of things, a lot of systems are put in place to ensure that they work. It's when you now get into this whole idea, that there's difference between property management, facility management, and all of that. Because if you don't know all these things, going such investment without proper information, you just add yourself, then pay attention to, you are not ignoring for you are not another 50%. I hope you know what I'm trying to communicate. Optimum return, depending on your access today. There are two major things I will keep on make any decision. Up to, but those we are potential real estate investor. We are potential real estate change makers in the future. Do you understand? Because the ball is going to drop on us to do something concerning the current housing deficits in Nigeria as a whole of that. So, and the level of quality that housing that we have in Lagos and the like. So it's important that we have all these things in check, so that we will not make the same mistake that most of our former investors or former developers have made, or property owners. Let me use property owners in these aspects. Property owners have made and all of that. So investors should never downplay the importance of property management. Now, investors should never downplay the importance of property management. It's just like you having a business, then there's nobody that is in charge of management. Maybe there's no operations manager or something. That's just how it is. That everything is just working. Let everything just work anyhow. Because when there's no managerial system in place in any organization, in any system, if there's no way for a check and balance in any system, there will be abuse. There will be abuse. And a property that lacks the lifespan of that building to like, let's about 5%. Because it's only a building that is functionally and economically sound that people want to stay in. Do you understand? And if this management system is not in place, you're already losing in that regard already. You're losing in that regard already. It's simple. It's a simple calculation. It is garbage in, garbage out. It is what you maintenance, performance, and effectiveness of a real estate portfolio or assets. So property management involves the comprehensive oversight of the operations, the maintenance, the performance, the effectiveness of a real estate portfolio asset. I'm going to give us various examples of what real estate portfolio is and the assets, what the assets are, and all of that. But that's just general meaning of property management. It's like an overview, an oversight of a property. Let me just use an example. So property management works in such a way that there's a system in place. I don't want to use a person now because in most property management company is they are working with a system. Then maybe somebody or more than one person is not in charge of that system on how the whole system works. So that's why I'm using system more than, let's say, person. I hope you understand that. So property management is a system of overseeing the operation, the maintenance and performance and effectiveness of real estate assets or portfolio. So when I talk about oversight, I mean paying attention to every details. Every details is important in property management. Every detail is important, from the tenant, from your vendors, from the property itself. It is important because that is what you're actually managing. I will still talk more about that as we move ahead. So it is important that you understand what you're actually managing in a property. Do you understand? From the tenant, the property itself, the vendor, the community in which the property is situated. Because property managers are analysts. They are analysts, they are decision makers, they are advisors. Do you hear what I'm saying? So a property manager is like one of the most complete property managers are one of the most complete set of people in the real estate sector, because they are involved in so many things. They're involved in decision making, in analysis, in advisory services, a whole lot of things, to the investor, to the property owner, to even the tenants. Are you all with me? So that's what the oversight means, paying attention to everything in the property, everything. Imagine where you are staying currently. Imagine that if you are a property manager, you now pay attention to everything in that property based on your own apartment and even your neighbors. If you have neighbors in your house, do you understand? That's what property managers do. They pay attention. See, the bottom line is property management involves paying attention to everything, every little details, whether small, big, minor, or major. That's what property management. And this paying attention to all these details will allow you for smooth operation, maintenance, performance, and effectiveness of the real estate portfolio. Do you understand? So when I talk about operation, that means about day-to-day running of the property, of the facilities, talking about the bills, talking about how satisfied are the residents in that property. Are they enjoying the services? Are they having a good time? Is this somewhere they can actually tell their friends and family about? So that's what the operation is talking about. The day-to-day running of the facility. What's happening on a daily basis? Is there any problem? What's the response system, your communication system, and all of that? So also the maintenance. This maintenance has to do with checking if all the facilities that are in place in the property are at optimal level. They are working efficiently and effectively. That's what maintenance is talking about. And the performance is talking about, okay, all these facility that we have in this facility, are they what these people need? Do you understand? It will be useless if you install a lift or an elevator in a one-story building or a two-story building. It's waste of money, it's waste of resources and all of that. So those are what performances we check. Let's say in this facility, they need 2 pumping machines. Then you install 1 pumping machine. Then every day they are calling it that there's no water, there's no this, there's no that, and all of that. So that's because that property is not performing well, because the facility that you have installed in that facility is not meeting the requirements. Are you with me? It's not meeting the standard as required for that property. So that's what performance is all about. Then effectiveness is the aggregation of all these things I mentioned before: the operations, the maintenance, and the performance, on how they can easily meet the goal of the residents and the investor or the property owner or the property developer. Are you with me? So those are the things you have to pay attention to when we are talking about property management. So you have to pay attention to the general oversight in operation, in maintenance, in performance, and effectiveness. Okay. So moving on. So these are the examples of real estate portfolio that we can have. We have residential. These are the categories: residential, commercial, industrial, and special purpose. In residential, I think everybody will have an idea of what residential buildings are. We have single living residences, vacation properties. Those are your multi-family residences, townhouses, condominiums, and an apartment. Your apartment, a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, your studio apartment, your self-con, your mini flat, and all of that. And your other 3-bedroom, your terraces, your semi-detached duplex, your duplexes, your townhouses, and all of that. Those are residential aspects of real estate, of the real estate portfolio. So the commercial aspects, we have public accommodations, we have retail property like mall, restaurants, gas station, office spaces as well. All your office spaces down that commercial. Industrial, we have our factories, our steel mills. Industrial majorly, and all of these categories of real estate portfolio, they actually need property managers. Because like I said, property manager will oversee the operation, the maintenance, the performance, and effectiveness of real estate portfolio. Do you understand? Imagine you having a property whereby about 20 residences are there, and there's no property manager. There will be problem. There's no way you want to do it. There will be problem, because property manager will be like the go-to person if there's anything they want to complain about, if there's anything they need to resolve, if there's any general problem. Because a lot of people don't know, because of the extra money they will pay a property manager, they tend to exclude that. No need. They will sort out themselves. They will now appoint somebody in the house to not be like the caretaker. That will not be monitoring the whole process. Do you understand? And there will be lapses, unless if the unit is maybe about 4 persons living in the house, about 5 persons. But when you start reaching the number of, let's say, 15 and above or 10 and above, you get to need a property manager that will oversee the whole operation of the facility, all of that. If you look at big shopping malls now looking at the big shopping malls now in Lagos, like Ikeja City Mall, all of that, they have property managers. As likewise that they have facility managers, they have property managers. Property managers is even facility management is still under property management, because facility managers have to report back to the property manager. Facility managers should have to report back to the property managers so that they can easily communicate with the residents or the occupants of the property. Are you with me? So that's how important property management is, or property managers are in a multi-tenanted facilities. Okay. So we have special purpose properties as well. And we have theaters, we have sports arenas, we have resorts, we have senior care facilities, schools, universities, and places of worship. Do you understand? So those are, and property management will oversee the payment of all these little bills. Do you get little bills, how to ensure that things are working smoothly? It's just the goal of property management generally is just that things are working smoothly. No complaints. If there's any complaints, there's quick response from the team and all of that. So moving on, I've explained the real estate portfolio categories. Now, what is effective property management? Effective property management has to do with a flexible system that accommodates various situations and still ensure that property is still kept is kept in a functional and economical state. Now, effectiveness in property management shows how flexible the system is. Remember what I've explained before on property management and the likes. Now, how effective it is, how flexible it can easily accommodate other aspects of real estate, of the management system. Sort of, that's how effective a property management system is. Are you with me? How flexible it is? Because we should understand that. Let me move on to this point now to explain effective property management. We should understand that no two tenants or clients are exactly the same. So your approach to them will be different. Are you with me? Because when you look at what we're actually managing, I keep telling people that we are not actually managing the property itself. We're actually managing the people inside. Are you with me? Before, for instance, now let's say the pumping machine in a particular property that has about 10 tenants is faulty. It is the people that will complain, not the pumping machine. Are you with me? It's the people that will complain that, guy, there's no water. What's happening? What's going on? There's no water. They are the one that will call you. The pumping machine will not call you. The tank upstairs will not call you. It's the people in the facility that will call you. And you have to manage them in a way that, okay, man, sir, this thing will be available, will be ready, will be prepared within the next 1 hour, 2 hours. They are the ones that you will communicate with, not the machine. And the other set of people you see communicate with are the vendors, the plumbers that will come and fix the pumping machine. So if you look at it holistically, you will understand that the thing we're actually managing in every property are the people, are the persons in the property. They are the ones that they take like 80% of our management. Do you understand? Even during this diesel hike and all of that diesel is now about 650. It is the people that are complaining. The generator is there waiting for diesel to be poured inside. But it's people that are complaining that you guys have increased your tariff, you guys have increased the amount you are spending on diesel and all of that. What is going on? It is people that are complaining. The generator is not complaining, the tank is not complaining. It is the diesel supplier that is telling us that if you guys don't pay on the spot, we will not deliver diesel to you. So it is the people you are managing. You are managing their expectation. You are managing their complaints. We are managing their needs and desires. Do you understand? So that is what we're actually managing in property management. So the effectiveness of a property management system is dependent on how flexible the system is to accommodate different people. Are you with me? And still ensure that the property is kept in a functional and economical state. So for instance, property management is such that let's say it is time for tenants to renew their rent. You know there is a particular tenant that even when the person was coming to the apartment, you already have at the back of mind that this person is going to default. Are you with me? Now, the goal of an effective property management. Okay, let me use two people now. Let's say person A and person B. Person A, when you did your due diligence, when you wanted to come to the property, you know that this one will never owe you rent. We know property managers know who will owe rent and who will not owe rent. We know that's one thing about us. We know, and two different people now. So we have one person that is destined to owe rent and one person that is not destined to owe rent. So those are the two kind of people we are looking at now. An effective property management system is such that these two people are accommodated in that system, such that when you are sending your reminders, you are sending enough reminder to the person that you know that is going to owe you enough funds. So that you already tell him that, sir, you are paying your rent in 7 months, you are paying in 6 months, you are paying in 5 months. Like you start giving monthly reminders. Then the second person that you know that will not owe rent, you are just following the normal protocol, maybe 6 months rent, then 6 months rent reminder, 3rd month rent reminder, and all of that. Start sending in bits. And luckily for you, the person that is not destined to owe rent pays the rent in, let's say, the 11th month or the 10th month, because he has the money to pay. Then the second person, because of your quick follow-up with him, he was able to pay the rent, let's say maybe a week after the expiration of his rent. But if you have folded your arms that let me follow the normal protocol that will send 6 months reminder, 3 months reminder, and then maybe 1 month reminder, then he's telling you that when the rent expires, I don't have money, but I'll pay later. Do you understand? But because you have already accommodated in your system that, okay, I already know who this is. I know what kind of person this is.
I can easily deal with him. Then you've already managed the expectation of the landlord that, sir, we already know that this person is going to owe. So let's just give him like a week grace or 2 weeks grace, because we already know that it's going to owe. Are you following what I'm saying? That's how effective your system is. In an apartment, let's say there is a a pumping machine problem. I'm trying to use scenarios that we are familiar with, so that it won't look vague and all of that. I'm using simple scenarios. For instance, let's say the pumping machine is faulty again, and there are about 10 tenants. It's not all the tenants that will complain. There are some tenants that they will never call you that pumping machine is bad. Probably they have water reservoir in their house or something. They have a drum, they're keeping water. They will not call you. But there are some people that the moment the water just stopped working like this, they've already picked their call. They are calling you 10 times in 1 minute. Are you with me? So your effective property management system will know how to accommodate all these kind of people that, okay, what should I do? How should I respond to this person? What should I do? How should I communicate with this person? That's how effective your property management system can be. And all these things, because I mentioned that it's actually the people that we are managing, they are the ones that are going to pay the rent. And if they don't pay rent, there will be issues with your landlord or the property developer or the investor, because they are losing money. Are you with me? And every land property owner will prefer occupancy than vacancy or void period. It will prefer occupancy. Are you with me? So it is all these little things that we need to pay attention to ensure that your property management system is actually effective. Having to accommodate people, but you don't have to accommodate all the bad eggs. At least out of 100 tenants, maybe 10 or maybe 5 of them are bad eggs. Do you understand? They are good eggs as well. Do you understand? It is all this thing. I will explain how you can actually I will explain one of the tricks that I use. One of the tricks that I use in my own management system, property management system, so I can see how we are ensuring that our investors, our property owners are actually getting their rent as at when due. Are you with me? So moving ahead now, I hope I'm able to explain no two tenants are exactly the same, and your property management system should be able to accommodate these different people, different set of persons, so that there won't be issues. No problem. So one of my watchword in this match is that anything that has to do with problem, I'm running away from it. Do you understand? Because I love to avoid problems. There are some problems that you can actually avoid, and it happens a lot in property management. You know that your generator is due for servicing. You've communicated with the facility management people that, okay, you guys service generator, because you foresee that if they don't service it on time, it will break down on a Sunday morning, whereby the technician will not be able to come to Monday. Do you understand? So property managers have a very good foresight as well. Do you understand? So let's just moving ahead. So the roles of property management. So in these roles of property management, I'll be dropping some tips that I used for this to ensure that property management system is effective, and how it can be a profitable real estate mechanism for investors. Okay, so role of property management. So we have marketing and leasing, we have rent collection and accounting, we have screening and tenant selection and maintenance. So please, can we drop an emoji if you are still following me?
Yes, we are following you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, IBK. Thank you. So roles of property management, you have marketing and leasing, we have rent collection and okay, before I go on with these roles of property management, if you have any questions so far, can you just unmute your mic and just ask or drop it in the comment section? Let me see if I can just take that before we move ahead. Because as we move ahead now, we're moving with the speed of light because we have limited time available. So if you have any question, just drop it in the comment section, or just unmute your mic and talk. I'll just maybe count like 1 to 10, then we'll continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10. Okay, let's go on. So we have those of property management. You have marketing and leasing, rent collection and accounting, screening and tenant selection and maintenance. So on marketing and leasing, so marketing and leasing is placing the property on the market for rent for rent. Because property management is actually majorly involved in leasing and renting, actually letting and leasing. That's where property management actually works. Probably maybe there's a property that they have a lot of tenants, residents, and all of that. Even if it's so if it is a property that is owned by the owners, who they normally employ, because they are not paying any, they're always paying for the servicing of the generator or the common facilities to people. They may only need a facility manager. So for properties that involves rent collection, dealing with resident directly based on rent collection, all of that, that's where you need the property manager. Are you with me now? I'm just trying to clarify the role of a property manager and a facility manager now. The property manager is involved with the rent collection process, communicating with the tenants, liaising between the tenant and the landlord. So property management will come in if there's a landlord and there's a tenant, or if there's an investor and there's a resident or a tenant. Are you with me? That's when property management will come in. But facility management does involve maintaining or managing the facility that is common to all the residents, like let's say generator, pumping machine, lift, elevator, security, waste disposal, and all of that. That's what facility management will be all about. But property manager will now oversee all this process, because all these things are involved in the management of the property. Are you with me? So going back to the roles of property management, we have marketing and leasing, advert and agency, inspection, advisory. I didn't add one thing. Inventory taking. Inventory taking of an apartment is actually a role of a property manager. Inventory taking because whenever you want to onboard a new property into a particular property management system, you have to take the inventory of that property. You have to list out the number of bulbs, number of electrical fittings, plumbing fittings, the kind of door, the kind of window, all those little things that might cause issue later. You get we have to list all those things down and all of that. So inventory taking is part of this marketing and leasing process. Adverts, placement, inspection. Advisory, if you notice that advisory is in all of them, because at each stage of this role of property management, you need to keep on advising the residents, the prospective tenants. You need to advise the landlord one way or the other. You need to just keep advising them. Let's say, okay, for instance, let's say the landlord say you want to collect a rent of 5 million for a 2-bedroom, and you know that in that area the going rate for a rent is, let's say, 3 million. You have to advise, you can't get 5 million in this area. You have to be bringing down like 3.5 or 3 million thereabout. Do you understand? So you still keep on advising them based on your relationship with the agents. Now, I think some of the people that practice real estate well, that are on this chart, we understand that most of the people that send them direct briefs are actually property managers. They are not majorly maybe agent like that. They are property managers. They are the one that will send you briefs that, okay, we have a 2-bedroom that is available in Lekki Phase 1 or Ikate. They know that will send you the brief that, okay, these are the things involved and all of that. So you understand the role of property manager. The property first come from them. They don't tell you that, okay, this property is now on the market and all of that. Then the agents will now start marketing and all of that. That's why the role of marketing and leasing is still under property management. So we have inspection, we have advisory as well. We have screening and tenant selection. Now I want to dwell more on this aspect, because this is where you will know if your property management system is effective or not, or if the property owner or the investor is going to make his money back or not. Because it is from the beginning when you meet the tenant. That's what I'm saying, that property managers pay attention to everything. From the first meet of a prospective tenant, you already know that if this tenant is going to be a problematic tenant or will not, regardless of if they have money. Do you understand? Personally, I oversee the due diligence process of my organization. I'm the one that decide if a person will get a property or if they will not get property, because I have to do my due diligence based on the way your manner of approach, the way you communicate, the way you respond to my requests and all of that. Do you get? And this diligence process is very, very, very important, because this is where we are going to test if the person can easily pay the rent. Do you understand? For instance, now Lekki Phase 1, mini flat, we have mini flat of, let's say, 2 million and above now. Then somebody that does not have a standard job. When I have a standard job now, I mean jobs that you can't really your income is not really guaranteed. Now you're coming to rent an apartment of that maybe the rent is 2 million and the service charge is about 500k, is 2.5. Then when we do our diligence, we realize that how are we able to afford this kind of apartment? Because we are always eager to collect their money. will now ignore that aspect of the whole due diligence process and now go ahead and give them the property. Then after a long while, after the first year, you now start having issues that he's not paying rent, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. That is why one of my major components in giving anybody an apartment that I'm under is the person must be a working class. At least must have a stable income. And when I have stable income is the fact that when you have stable income, you can easily be assured that, okay, this rent that you want to pay, you can easily afford it. Do you understand? And where you work to matters. A lot of people do not know this. Where you work matters in due diligence process. You have to, you can't just, we've passed that time whereby people just give houses to people because these are people's investments. Most of these properties that you see that they have tenants and all that, they are people investment. People are investing into it. Now, if you're having issues with rent collection and the likes, and it starts from this diligence process, because you definitely see the signs. You see the signs on how this person will be problematic in the future or not. You see it. There's no way, unless if you want to just close your eyes to those things. If you're a property manager on this discussion, you can just affirm to what I'm saying. Like you already know that this client will be a problematic client. Do you understand? Imagine a client that wants something luxurious and is giving a budget of 2 million. Is going to be searching all of Lekki Phase 1 looking for maybe a 3-bedroom or a 2-bedroom for him. I said he doesn't want to go beyond Lekki Phase 1 and he's giving a budget of 2 million. We know that this kind of client will stress you. Do you know? We know that they will stress us, and those are the things you look out for in the due diligence process. Do you understand? You check their names, where they work, even their guarantor is as equally as important as the tenant. I have a property that's under our management now. The landlord will tell you that if the guarantor cannot conveniently pay for the rent, he will not accept the tenant. Are you with me? And the man is trying to protect himself because once the tenant starts misbehaving now, we just send a mail to the guarantor that so person is defaulting, kindly ensure that you pay so amount so that you can move on, or tell the person to leave the house. That's it. Because it all starts from the due diligence process. It has to be, your due diligence process has to be solid. We can actually talk on the various things to check for in due diligence process. You check for I personally check for their age. I just have to say this. I check for their age as well. Because if I check your age, because from experience, I don't know, probably it's just the kind of people I've met with. If there are some certain age that if you have gotten to and you want to get a studio apartment or a mini flat, because of where you are coming from, I already know you're going to have issues in that apartment. Because this place will not be convenient for you, because where you are coming to is filled with young guys. You understand? I will not give you the apartment. I'll tell you that, man, look for somewhere else, because you won't be able to cope. You won't be able to join, to, how would I put it now? You're able to connect with the people that are there. Do you understand? You need to connect. So I would gladly say, man, look for another property, or I can even help you search for another property on your behalf or something. Do you understand? So that the things look. Due diligence process is like the most important thing, the most important aspect in property management. You must check. You must do background check on your residents, on your tenants, on the guarantor as well. Because those are the things that will guarantee if you're going to get your rent as at when due, or if you're going to get the rent as at when due. And what's the essence of having a property manager if out of your rent collection, this thing, you're already having about maybe 50 default, 50% are in default already? That's not a successful property management system. That system is not effective. Even though it has to be flexible enough, but at least it should still ensure that the property is still economically and functionally sane and sound. Do you understand? People are paying their rent at when due, they are paying their bills, they are paying their utility bills, their service charges at when due. Probably even if you want to have any challenges of default or not, maybe about less than 20% or 10% or 15%. Do you understand? And there was a lot time last year, towards the end of this year, that I had over 100% occupancy. People paid their rent at when due. There was no default. There was nothing. So there was no need to chase anybody. Anybody that was not ready to renew, the person left us at the day of expiration of his tenancy and all of that. Do you understand? At times it happens like that. There are times whereby there are no problems, and there are times whereby there are plenty of problems. You get? So that's what it's all about. So advisory again. So I'm talking about advisory here under this screen and tenant service, because I have to advise the landlord that the reason why property is staying long on the market is for your own sake. Because most of the people that come to check your property, they are not solid. They are not solid. So you have to advise the agent that are bringing clients that, okay, these are the kind of people we are looking for, and these are the reasons and all of that, and they will understand as well. So you have rent collection and accounting. So rent collection, sending of rent reminders, and following up on the residents, checking up on the residents is important. It's not just about collecting their rent and all that. You must check up on them. There's a system that my MD suggested then that we should start sending them birthday cakes, giving them some incentives and all of that. To get those are it's just a way to just ensure that they are indebted to you. So when it's time for them to renew, they won't give you problem. Like, guy, I won't be able to renew. I'm leaving the apartment on so and so dates. Do you get? And that's that on that. Advice as well. Probably you need to advise the resident that I've noticed a drop in some certain aspects. You need to probably look for a better option or do this or do that. Do you understand? Like all these things, all this advice comes from communication. Yes, you have to communicate with them one way or the other. And maintenance, scheduling within inspection, in the apartment itself, generally external and internal. You get to give the resident notice. All these things are just to ensure that you are on top of your job, majorly. On top of the process, the meaning of property management that I said earlier, the oversight, the comprehensive oversight of the operations, performance, and what else? And effectiveness of the property is maintained at all costs. So that's why all these rules are important. The property management system was able to have all these things in place. If there's a system, it will be difficult to break. Do you understand? If there's a system, it will be difficult to break. It is when there's no property management system in an apartment that it will lead to so many things. Because if an apartment does not have a property management system, a lot of things could go wrong. There will be lack of proper cleaning, accountability, security will be porous, nobody to be accountable to, nobody to be held accountable to anything, because everything is just anyhow. Do you understand? And your real estate investment will not be profitable if all these things are not in place. Do you understand? Just imagine if your property, the property that everybody can easily enter at any time, no form of control, nobody's checking anything, nobody's concerned, no system at all. There's no way in few years the property will be there. Property will just be there. And imagine in an area that the going rate of a 2-bedroom is like, let's say 3 million, then you, because your property lacks proper property management system, it's going to affect the rent, because people will not come and pay 3 million for a 2-bedroom apartment that is not well kept, that is not organized, there is no system, nothing is working, and all of that. So those are the importance of property management in a business. So moving on, this is a property management life cycle. So let me just scroll up. This place talk about the rules and the processes and all of that. So I think you can easily see it here. So you have the new tenant. We need tenants on the new tenant or owner onboarding. We have ongoing rent collection, ongoing lease enforcement, ongoing maintenance, ongoing inspection, lease expiration, lease renewal of the lease. We have renewing, drafting, and all of that. So these are the processes of property management. What is involved in property management? Do you understand? You have ongoing maintenance, we have written inspection, we have new tenant onboarding, and all of that. And we have a lot of property management and softwares now that is really helping the job, helping the work, so that there is a automated reminders to residents that, okay, we are coming to your apartment, come and do our inspection in the next few days, in the next few months, and all of that. We knew how and all of that. So it's automated. So the work is just have to be on top of your game. You get, like I said, property managers pay attention to every little thing. Everything counts. You understand? So I can easily advise the resident, advise the landlord, even advise the organization of your company. You understand? That's why it's important. So I think somebody dropped something. Okay. So let's round off now. So like I said earlier, what property managers really manage are the people in the facility. Like I said earlier, is the people that actually manage it, because they are the ones that are using the services, using the services, using the facilities, using a lot of things. So they are the ones that are actually managing how to manage the expectation, how to ensure that they are not complaining, how to ensure that they are having a good time in the property. Do you understand? So that's what property managers actually manage the people. Manage to communicate with them, we liaise with them, and the landlord, and all of that. So moving on, the importance of property management to a real estate investor or property owner. Now, return of investment and return on investment, so that the property managers, the investor, the property owner can be rest assured that, okay, my return on investment, my return of investment is assured. Do you get? Because there's a system in place that will ensure that the property that you are is fit for habitation. Are you with me? It's fit for habitation and all of that. So that's that. So maintaining the property in optimal use and standard. So that's another work of it. That's one of the role of the importance of property management to real estate investor, property owner. We have relationship management. Relationship management in this regard is that so that there's no ill feeling between the landlord and the tenant. You know, there are some houses that tenant, they don't like seeing their landlord. Landlord, they don't even like seeing the tenant. So property managers will just come in between and say, okay, you guys can actually enjoy this relationship. You don't have to see each other. You don't have to do this. I'll be the one in between. I'll take the blow from the tenant. I'll take the blow from the landlord, and I'll give you the way forward. That's what property managers do in maintaining the relationship between landlords and tenants. They take the blow or the jab from the landlord. They go to the tenant, take another blow, then they are in the middle and they explain and they give the best advice to both parties. Now, one thing I want to mention here is a lot of property managers, they make this mistake, and I would like to correct it. I would like to say this now. One of the problems we have is we'll be wondering that because it's the landlord that gives us the brief to manage property, we tend to be in favor of the landlord about, let's say, 90%. Then we favor the tenant 10%. Me personally, I do not buy into that because both of them are our clients. Because you need their rent, you need them to be happy. So what may I do is my company has rejected a landlord property before because we noticed that the landlord will be difficult to manage. It does not listen to anything, and we rejected it. Then we are not doing. Do you understand? So that's why it's not every job that property managers should take up. It's not every job that you take up. There are some jobs that will give you plenty stress more than the money you want to make from it. It's not about expanding your property management portfolio and all of that. Do you get? If the tenant, if you know the tenant to give you stress, there's no need of you bringing the tenant to your property. Just say tenant, man, we're gonna find another place. It's normal way. Just avoid. Like I said earlier, there are some problems that you can avoid. Avoid them. Don't add to the already problem that is on ground. Just avoid them. Do you get? So that's my relationship management and all of that. Even though the landlord is the one that gives you the instruction, the brief manage property, the resident are still your clients, and their satisfaction should also be your concern. So the goal of the property manager is not to always favor the landlord. It's not to always favor the resident, but to always find a ground whereby both the landlord and the resident are satisfied and they can move ahead without any form of bad relationship or bad blood between them. Okay, moving on. Property managers should always try to like the importance that avoidance of unnecessary litigation. So when you have a property management system in your property facility, to avoid unnecessary litigation, because there are some things you could have avoided if you actually have a property manager, a property management system installed in your facilities. Do you understand? A lot of things you could have avoided, unnecessary money that you're spending, all of that. Because property managers will do their job if you give them the liberty to their job. So we have vetting and due diligence and all of that. We have visibility and reliability studies, advisory. I will not stop on this. I will not be silent on this advice because it's quite important. Because at every stage in property management, you have to keep on advising both the landlord and the residents because you are maintaining that relationship. Because the joy of a property manager is to ensure that nobody is angry at the tenants. Nobody is angry at the landlord. Let them enjoy it. We have properties that people are enjoying peaceful relationship. Do you understand? So on conclusion, I can conclude now. So right information is key to a successful real estate investment. Don't downplay the importance of real estate professionals before you make real estate decisions, like I said earlier. And income producing property needs a competent property manager. Income producing property needs a competent property manager. When I talk about income producing property, I mean property that they collect rent from. Like if there's any property that they collect rent from, maybe annually, quarterly, monthly, every 6 months, like that. They are called income producing property, whether be it residential, commercial, industrial, or anything. So far they are collecting rent from that property are called income producing properties. That's what income. And majorly investors actually invest more in all these income producing properties because they are sure that people will shall pay rent at the end of the year. And if they don't pay rent, they can easily switch if evict them, then new people come in and all of that. That is why property management is necessary, so that they can manage this process of coming into an apartment, the eviction process, the renewal process, and all of that. That's why a property manager is actually essential for a profitable real estate investment. I hope with this few points of mine, I've been able to throw some light on the effectiveness of property management system to ensure that a real estate investment is profitable, and there's no bad blood between the resident and the landlord. Thank you very much once again for this opportunity, and I'm grateful for this time. If you have any question, kindly drop it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great one, Mr. Dan. It's a great one. And thank you so much for the wonderful session. I want to believe that everybody who have attended this webinar will agree with me that so much value have been given today. And like you said, is there any question about what we've learned today? Do you have any question? Can you all hear me?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, my name is ESV Ajao Latunde.
You're welcome, sir.
So I have a question for the host, the speaker. Sorry.
All right, go on.
Firstly, I have to recommend his speech. He has a very good presentation. Well done, sir. So my question goes thus: you made mention of the that some of your landlord, your clients, will have to request for a guarantor that will pay rent if the original tenant defaults. So I want to ask, how applicable is that? Can the person be taken to court if he refuses not to pay the rent because he's just a guarantor? Can he be taken to court and pay a rent of what he does not owe? Please, can you please just share more light on it, sir?
Okay. What I said concerning that was that we prefer a guarantor. We always prefer a guarantor that is capable enough to cover the rent for the tenants. That's what we prefer. That's generally we prefer that. So that it's not just you want to rent an apartment and asking your maybe a driver or anybody else to be your guarantor, and we know that this person, that's even the essence of guarantor. Guarantor is somebody that is solid enough to cover any cost that you might incur later. Do you understand? So in the aspect of if the guarantor can be taken to court to pay the rent, the essence, if you check the most guarantor sum that we fill, that's why they ask them to fill it hard copy and they sign, they put their passport, they add their means of education, they add their work ID and everything, because they are liable, because they are standing in place in case if there's any issue. They are liable to pay it because they decide, nobody forced them to be the guarantor. They are liable to pay it. Do you understand? It's always stated there that this person you are standing as guarantor for, if he's owing so and so amount and so amount, you are so and so, you are responsible, you are liable to pay the rent and all of that. It's always captured in that form that they send, the guarantor form they send to them. You get? I got exposed to this when I was actually working with a lawyer directly concerning his property management, guarantor things and all of that. I said, it's actually essential that you give them a separate form to fill that states all these things, so that they fill it, they sign it, and everything. Because in case of any future problem, you can actually be held accountable that, okay, you are paying this, you are paying that, you are paying this. But mostly in Nigeria, not all this thing. Once it gets to a very tough extreme now, the resident will finally leave, and the landlord will not want to go and chase someone that is never actually in the apartment. So a lot of compromise is always being reached when it gets to that. Should we go after the guarantor and everything? So it's always like that. So it's just, but it's possible that the guarantor is held liable to pay the rent because it's standing in the gap for the person. That is why even if all this bank loan and all of that, if the person is not paying, they will go and chase the that is standing as guarantor for him now. It's simple. Do you get, sir?
All right, I get.
Yeah.
So I want to ask another question. Is a form of addition to what you have said.
Okay.
In the sense that, can a tenancy agreement be prepared in a way that once a tenant does not pay his or her rent, then after 3 months, we involve any police force to come and eject him forcefully. Because we see a situation whereby tenants believe that they have more power in court. They owe rent and they feel comfortable while owing rent. Instead of them to be pleading, they even say, okay, let's go to court, because they know the process takes a very long time. Before the court judgment, they would have used a free rent, then they will vacate the premises, in which it is a loss on the investor side. So what can you say to this? Can we add it in the tenancy agreement that once you didn't pay rent, after 3 months, just vacate willingly, or we invite the Nigerian police force to eject you forcefully?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Mr. Jao. Well, what I would say is I was with a lawyer about, let's say, last month or so, and we had a discussion because I had to ask him about all these things as well. He said there was a recent judgment that actually state that even if your 6 months notice is defective, let's say you sent it maybe in the 5th month and all of that, so far that the resident is fully aware that he's meant to pay his rent as at so and so dates, after that day is a tenancy at will. And you understand what tenancy at will means? Do you get? So it's the legal system is actually evolving concerning this aspect of the business. The legal system is actually evolving because a lot of things has changed. The system is not just favoring the tenants now. That's what I'm saying, that a property manager is actually necessary so that all the reminders, the tenancy reminders, the renewal reminders are sent as at when due. If all these things are in place, it will not actually take 3 months to actually send the person out of the house. Do you understand? Because after the expiration, after the expiration of the lease and the tenants have not paid, being that we sent all the necessary reminders, the tenant is now a tenancy at will, and you just need to send a 7 days notice that they are coming to come and recover your possession. About 14 days total with the legal process and everything, and 14 days with recover your possession. That is why sending those reminders are very, very important. Do you understand? And once the court can approve that you can go and recover your possession, the tenant has nothing to do. So the process, the duration for you to get your property back is due to the evolution that is happening in the legal system that has actually reduced. So I would advise that for this legal aspect of this discussion, I would advise that if Joint Field Real Estate can actually get a lawyer that can actually shed more light on these legal repercussions and how property managers, property owners can actually protect themselves from all these stubborn tenants. Do you understand? You get? My one aspect of this job is to ensure that those reminders are standard when due, and when it's time for maybe litigation, any court case, and I can easily produce my evidence that, okay, I sent 6 months reminder, I sent 3 months reminder, I sent 2nd month reminder, I sent 7 weeks reminder, I sent 6 week reminder, and the court will say, this madam is duly involved. And so there are some cases that the court say that, okay, we are giving 3 days to vacate the property. And then if not, they will send their court people and then police, and they come and chase you out themselves. Do you understand? So it's just about you following the process that is legally approved. Are you with me, Mr. AJ, Mr. Ajao? Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm enjoying you.
Are you with me? So those processes that we know about sending the 6 month reminder, 3 month reminder, they are very, 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 very important. When I send a rent renewal reminder, I tell them that I stated there that it is essential that the tenant is fully aware of his renewal responsibilities. Do you understand? So even when we go to courts and they don't say that, are you aware? You can't say you're not aware. Because that's what the judge will first tell you. Are you aware they are meant to pay this rent on so and so dates? When they say yes, the court says that you are deliberately owing now. Do you understand? So to get them out, I think the process is not 3 months again, due to this my little discussion with the lawyer I spoke with, but we can still have a general discussion on the legal aspect of this with a lawyer and all of that, and we can move from there. Because I know tenants can be stubborn, and especially those people that are staying in BQ. Anybody that's staying in BQ are very stubborn. I can still remember a case that the person was staying in BQ and the case got to court. Imagine BQ. But then those are the pros and the cons of the property management system that we have. Okay, thank you.
I think we experience more defaulters on the mainland there than on the island. Island people, they respect themselves very well. Once the rent is getting to expire and they don't have money, they will move out. But on the mainland, they will see
Exactly.
people owing 2 years rent, 250,000 rent. They disturb your life.
I think one of the problems we have on the mainland is probably people are not probably cutting their coats according to their sizes. That's my own submission. And most people have. I did a survey one time that most people that want to rent houses on the mainland or on the island, they save up to rent the house. And they borrow money from friends and family. Let's say I want to rent an apartment of 300K and I have 50K. Then I borrow maybe I save. I was able to raise, let's say 200K. Then somebody borrows me 100K, another person borrows me 50K. Now I have to pay 350K every year. And meanwhile, my salary is just, let's say, maybe 50,000 naira or maybe 70,000 naira. And it will be near impossible for me to be able to conveniently manage that kind of rent because of there are other expenses as well. I think people just have to understand they have to use their monthly income or their annual income to calculate their rent budget, because we must admit that rent is also an expense. It's also an expense. Let me just say expense. Do you understand? It's also an expense that it must treat it as such. It's not rent is not it's rent just as we going to the grocery store to buy something. They are expenses. They are simple expenses. So you must ensure that your monthly income, your annual income is about, your rent should not be more than 30%, at most 30% of your annual income. The moment is more than that, it will be difficult for you to maintain the rent and you are going to default. That is why once they are doing their due diligence process, okay, you are a banker. Let's say the average salary of your own level of your position in your office, let's say 300K. And you can easily say that, okay, you can still afford a house of, let's say, 700, 600, 900, because it will take you about 3 months to raise that kind of money. Do you get what I'm saying? So everything still boils down to the diligence process. And the mainland property owners need to understand that they need property managers to ensure that people are not default, because property owners that will do due diligence on them. That, this person will give us problem. When your job is not even, your monthly income is not enough to cater for you alone, and you're renting house, definitely you saved up to rent the house. Some people use a job to rent house, and that's where the problem comes from. They use a job, and you know how a job works. Maybe 10 people are the one giving you the money to rent the apartment like that, and it's not that it's your money directly. I hope you get what I'm trying to say concerning this rent budget and your monthly income, your annual income, and all of that. It's just how we configured in this part of the world that we must just save up to do things. And people, somebody that saved, like, use 1 year to save to rent an apartment, and you think that it's easier for you to pay the rent every year like that, it will be saving every year again. And you know your income, and it can happen to even your job at any time. So it's better to cut your coat according to your size. Is that the way say according to your size even wrong now? Cut your coat according to your material. So that's that on that.
All right. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, Mr. Daniel. You really done justice to the topic, and I really want to appreciate you. Thanks for honoring our invitation. And I strongly believe that when next we have another discussion that I will need your expertise, I strongly believe that you want to honor invitation again. Thank you so much. And I want to appreciate everybody that has joined. Well, I sincerely want to celebrate my father here, Pastor Shegun Awolowo. Thank you so much for joining, sir. It's a privilege having you. And my Oga ESB Ajao. I know one day we'll have to see, we'll only be discussing on phone, and they have not really seen me personally, job and all. But one day maybe we'll see. And then I want to appreciate Praise Oyorinde. Thanks for joining. And for this session, it is recorded, so we can have access to the replay subsequently. And I want to appreciate you once again. It really means a lot to me. And like Mr. Daniel rightly said, this is a real estate discussion series. we had the maiden edition last month, where we talked about real estate due diligence in Lagos State. And this month we have property management, effective property management, an essential component of real estate investment. Subsequently, we'll also bring real estate experts that will also take out some critical topics that will enlighten both real estate investors and property managers, every key players in real estate sector will have that section. And I hope that everybody will learn and will gain from this. Once again, I want to appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I know we have property managers in the house. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. And I don't know, is there anybody that still has one or two things to say before we end the call? Anybody? Mr. Dan, thank you so much. Mr. Ajao.
Thank you, IBK, for the opportunity. I'm really grateful.
You're welcome, sir. Yeah, Mr.
Yes,
Ajao. Welcome, sir.
Yeah,
It's also
it's a very nice idea from you. It's a very nice idea from you.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much for
you
your
so
kind
much.
word. Amen. Thank
So
you.
we
so
hope to have more of this seminar, and so that we can all learn every day.
By
Because
God's
nobody
grace.
is above learning.
Yes, sir. By God's grace.
All right.
By God's grace.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much, and hope to see you in another edition of the real estate discussion series. So do have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Bye. So.